What's going on, guys? Now, this is my Xbox. It's basically been modified with Unleashed X. It's got all the Xbox games in there. It's got a 1.5 terabyte drive in there. So all the Xbox games have been put in there. Everything ever released for the Xbox. And so on and so on. So these are all the Xbox games that have been dumped on the drive. Everything works great. Now this is something else that was done to it. We've got some emulators in here so you can play Game Boy Advance, Neo Geo Pocket, the standard regular old school Nintendo 64. Some PlayStation games are also in there. Not the whole library's in there, but I've got about maybe like a good 10 games in there just so I can play around with them. You got Sega Genesis CD, the 32X, Master System, Game Gear, and some Super Nintendo. TurboGrafx, and that's it. Now the other ones, which are recently put on here, is the Kawang X, or KAWA-X, which is basically the Capcom CPS1 and CPS2 games, and also some Neo Geo. And then you've got the CPX3 games, which are some of Capcom's last games, such as Street Fighter 3 and JoJo's Adventure. So, if we start up this, you've got Final Fight, Ghosts and Ghouls, Forgotten Worlds, Mega Man, King of Dragons, and The Punisher. That's CPS1. Then you've got the CPS2 games, Marvel Street Fighter, Marvel Capcom, Mega Man 2, Street Fighter Alpha 1, 2, 3, Gem Fighter, Super Street Fighter 2, Regular and Turbo, X-Men, Children of the Atom, and Street Fighter, X-Men and Street Fighter, and then you've got the Neo Geo games, which are pretty cool. Now, some of the last games that came out, such as SNK versus Capcom, SVC, Chaos, and Art of Fighting 3 do not work, or at least don't work on the version of the emulator that I have, but everything else seems to be working fine. It's one of my favorite Neo Geo games.
The New York Monsters have a new lineup for the first game.
So to get back out of the game, you press the two trigger buttons on the back and the back button on the Xbox controller. That brings you back to the main menu, and then from here you can just either start up another emulator. In this case, let's go back here, let's go into here, and check out the CPX3 games. There you go, you click on Load ROM. You've got JoJo, we got a bunch of JoJos. You've got Street Fighter 3, New Generation, Second Impact, and Third Strike. You've got Red Earth. Let's just choose any one of these, I guess. And there you go.
Welcome to the Buzz and Fight Ground. Here's the families. Are you ready? Go.
the same thing, the two back trigger buttons, and the, let's see if we can get a good shot there. Alright, so the two back trigger buttons, this black button here, which I doubt you're going to see, and then the back button here, takes you back to the menu. Alright, so now we're playing some standard Xbox games, loading off the hard drive. Now, this version of Mortal Kombat that I chose here was part of the compilation Midway's Greatest Hits. I think it was 1 and 2. Basically, they just stripped out the Mortal Kombat games and just made this file. So it's just the Mortal Kombats, and they eliminated all the other Midway games. So, yep, that's my Xbox.